Hey everybody, what's going on? Sorry I'm so late. Hi. Hey, what's going on? Sorry I'm late. It's hot in here. It's 27 degrees, October 5th. Hi James, hi LT. Hey BB. Thank you for supporting my channel. God bless you too, Vinny. Yeah, I'm doing much better. Sometimes you just have to go through shit like that and it either breaks you or it makes you stronger, and it's made me stronger, so cheers to that. Hey Stephen Brooks, what's going on? Hey Mick. I'm doing good. Hey Harley. I'm doing all right. I'm just trying to put my earring in. Here we go. Hello from Ontario, Canada. I am also in Ontario, Stoic 13. Welcome. It's good to see you here, or to have you here, and to see you. Good. I'm glad. Oh my God, it's really hot. It's 27 degrees, and I was very sweaty after the shower. Put lotion on, and then you just kind of sweat a little bit, so. Where are you at, Mick? At 10 degrees. Ireland. Yeah. I'm sure that you'd appreciate more sun over there, eh? Mm-hmm. It's beautiful, though. 10 degrees is a nice temperature. It sometimes gets down to that around this time, but it's been hot, hot, hot during the day lately. Yeah, I know. Yeah, poor England and Ireland and Scotland, they don't get very much sun. I heard a joke once that when the sun comes out, everyone dashes to the beach, try to take advantage of it, you know? That's a shame. It's cloudy a lot over there. It'll be bright out, but it's like overcast, you know? Rains quite a bit. But beautiful. It's very green, and that's why, because it rains a lot. Good air. Like Argentina. That's what Buenos Aires means, good air. Yeah. Well, I assumed that it would in, well, I'm in northern Ontario, so it's a little different, but not by much. But yeah, I'm taking advantage of it. Like, I'm grateful for it. You know, I've been going out every day, still wearing summer clothes, still doing my walks, and I've incorporated an at-home workout, which has been beneficial. Um, Stoic, I kind of skipped your question because I'm not struggling with it anymore. It was an episode that I had. It's just a CPTSD thing that happened on August 26th. And it brought up a lot of stuff from my past, especially the stuff that I went through with my adopted mother. And the abuse and shit that I went through with her. Because my landlady screamed in my face and called me a crazy fucking bitch and all this crazy stuff. So, which as a professional you just don't do, but she did. And so, yeah, it just took me a while. I started to write a book about everything, and it's been very therapeutic and beneficial. I almost mixed those two words together. Yeah, it's all right, you guys. Like, it's just it's unfortunate that It's kind of like my computer malfunctions. This is the computer and it malfunctions sometimes, but I reset and I come back to normal. And it's unfortunate because a lot of people will assume that I'm a kind of mental degenerate. Yeah. And they don't understand that it's almost like my computer has a virus, you know? And that virus is trauma, which I'm really, I've been trying to deal with. And, your memory will basically delete itself for self-protection. And so as I dug into it, it was pretty exhausting. But now we're at October 5th, and I've passed that part in my book. And I've just gotten to California and all that. So it's going well. Yeah, it will be available to all. So I explained, I can't remember where. I think in my last little short video that I posted, it's only about 13 minutes long or something like that, under 15 minutes, I'm sure. And I had said that, so I wrote my first book, but there was something about it that not that there was anything wrong with it. It just wasn't complete. And so I had tried to add some stuff on to re-release it. And it just didn't work out. It wasn't working out no matter what I did. And I couldn't understand why. But I didn't feel comfortable with releasing it. There was just a feeling that I had that it just wasn't the right time. Like, even though I released it and people bought it, I was struggling with that fact too. Because then, those people that already bought the book, da 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 da. So long story short, I decided to write this new one, add this stuff that explains, because a lot of people will make it an assumption that what's going on with me is all the childhood trauma and result of, and now I'm living inside some type of fantasy realm or world, okay? So it was important to me to explain to people how I mentally developed with going through the trauma, how I processed it, understood it, and how it was, basically a learning lesson and a way for me to evolve through observation, through the struggles of others, okay? Because it's not like I didn't process what was going on with my parents and why they were the way they were. I'm very emotionally, what's that called? Intelligent. Sorry, I know that didn't make me seem very emotionally intelligent. I was going to say emotionally educated, and I couldn't think of the right word. But, so, yeah. I write about that, and then I'm going to release both the books at the same time and upload the two of them to the Kindle so that people who are in other countries, like I think it was South America that doesn't have Amazon, so they can't get the book delivered down there, but you'll be able to buy it through Kindle and download it right to your phone. Yeah. Well, I'm sorry to hear that you can relate to it. I'm hoping that by sharing it, it will, I mean, I know that it's not going to fix everything, because I would like to try to deter people away from making the assumption that everything different or something that seems crazy, which is really just something that you don't understand, it just needs to be seen and understood. I forgot where I was going with that. But yeah, I'm just hoping that that by sharing the experience, people can benefit from it. I know I am. And I'm just hoping that it won't be a problem moving forward. Well, no, it's not just about my childhood. It was about how my life progressed as well. The events that happened in my life, spiritual things I didn't add in my book because it's connected with my adopted parents and I would have to talk about that. So really, there were things that I left out, about how my parents took me to a bunch of doctors and libraries trying to prove that I didn't channel this little poem from Richard Kipling, who was died in 1836, okay, when I was just a little girl and shit like that. But it has to do with how my parents just didn't see me and value me, and I don't know, that was probably the beginning of when I think that they started to fear me. I talked about how I could know who was calling on the phone before it even started ringing. You know what I mean? Things like that. So, and it was because it was connected to my parents that I didn't want to open those floodgates. And it is all connected, because even I've heard that some of the soul school programs, the lives that we have, and the trauma that we go through kind of unlocks these things that are deeper within us, like past life memories, which are carried on through our DNA and such. So it was many years ago, but it's something that was how I developed into the person I am today, which is there's nothing about it that I regret. I truly unconditionally love who I am. There are some things unfortunate about my life that I would change, of course, because my whole goal, even starting this channel, was to be able to connect with other people of like mind, heart, and spirit. Yeah. Unfortunately, that hasn't worked, and may have even so had the opposite effect, because I didn't know that people didn't really like being friends with people who are online. So, and I don't talk about it. At least I've tried not to, and it doesn't make any difference. So, whatever. But that was the whole point, because I felt so disconnected from humanity, and I wanted to reconnect again. I just felt like there was, if the disconnect happened because of negative things, and I needed to replace them with positive. And I can be grateful for, the people that are here on my channel chatting with me through, probably the last year or so that I've been live streaming. But still, it has not had positive results in my day-to-day life, regardless of what I do. And it didn't matter when I had a job, or if I don't have a job, or, if I'm working out or not working out, or doing absolutely nothing, or writing a book. It really doesn't matter. Either way, it's the same result. So yeah, that was the whole point of it. And, sharing the journey, hoping that it would help others. And then eventually I figured I wouldn't be alone anymore. I think the feeling of, you're right, a lot of people feel lost, Mick, but the feeling has to be strong enough for you to seek out and find your way. If you're just stuck in the darkness, you don't really do anything and don't try to get anywhere, even if you don't know where you're going. At least you're going somewhere, yeah? They're just staying there in that feeling. I think it has to be strong enough to motivate people to think of what else is there. Is there more? The bigger questions in life. What am I here for? Is this all there is? Was I born here just to go to school, go to work, and die? No, you're not. And I think that things have to be really bad to get people to reflect on that sometimes. People have become complacent in going to work, and, like this cycle where we go to school, get a career, get married, have kids, and then, plan for your demise. And to leave, whatever you're leaving for your children, and then eat dirt. And that's really not the way we were supposed to live our lives at all. That's not living. That's just surviving. And that's not how we were supposed to live at all. There are a group of people that have designed our world so that it works like this, and it benefits them and them only. The rest of us are just compliant slaves. You think, oh, well, it's not, because we get paid for it. You're not. See, even people, I watched this girl on TikTok and it hit her. I don't have TikTok. I watch YouTube videos that are from TikTok, yeah? People make compilations or whatever. And she said, she's like, I've got a video that had 15 million views. And she goes, I was thinking about it. She goes, I got maybe like $1,100 for it. Okay. $1,100 for that. And she's like, I'm not complaining or anything because it pays the rent. But she said, it made me think about how much money, like, the owners of TikTok are making, the advertisers. That's just pennies. They throw you scraps and pennies to the peasants while they're dining and feasting on the finest things in life, giving you $1,000. They probably spend that at lunch. You see what I'm saying? And so that's what I mean. It gives you this illusion of, oh, I'm so successful, I can have a big house, and I've got this wife, and I've had this job. But really, you're just making the people at the top of the pyramid rich and successful while you're living off of the scraps. And most people are okay with scraps in life, and they will live their lives and die this way only to be recycled to do it all over again. And the custodians would have it that way. That's what they want. That's how they make it so you never get out. People do deplorable things for money all the time. Even when you see YouTube videos, like I know I'm on YouTube, but none of my videos are monetized. And this was seriously just a vlog. I had no one else to talk to. I've tried other platforms. You get absolutely nothing there. Nothing, like crickets. People just don't use them. It's crazy. And so, like, when you have like 1 million subscribers, then you have to keep doing things. I call it the Mr. Beast face, where you're like going, so that people watch your fucking video, and you're just becoming more and more of a degenerate to gain money. And they have you do this. It's like this game where you chase money and then you get this validation where your content becomes popular. But really, who are you making rich? You might be getting by. Like I was saying, oh, here's some money, peasant. Here's some money, peasant. They've done that by dangling this wonderful Canadian life to immigrants overseas. Oh, you'll get a house. You'll get this. We'll give you that. We'll give you this. That's a trap. And then they get you all indebted. There's lots of people that have come over and lost all their money trying to look for a job and a place to live. And now they're broke. Living off like this slave system, having to work, trying to pay them bills, just like the rest of us. So this was all by design. And that's what it means to sell your soul. You're right, Mick. It is. It is. And I know. I didn't really realize it at first. I always thought, like, maybe it's something wrong with me, that I'm not doing it right or whatever. But no, I see it everywhere. It's almost like idiocracy, like the most dumb, ignorant channels. That's what people like, man. It's wild as shit. I'm not upset. Like, I'm not like super popular or anything. It's just what I'm talking about is the elites really have everybody right where they want them. But it's still that rat race. And then you're competing with other creators, and then creators are using your ideas so that they can get views and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. It's still that same stupid rat race. Like I said, they leave the door open for a little few peasants here and there. But that's about it. It's truly unfortunate. But we're not supposed to live like this. We're not. So it's just like the same pyramid in every job. Who gets the most money? Okay, so I know that you might be new, Stoic, but I've talked about this a lot. Talking to a professional is like talking to a fucking wall. If you knew about my content, they can't talk about this. I've already gone through therapy all when I was younger, through my 20s, in my 30s, okay? I'm done with all that. I don't know. Do you think that I'm weak and that I need something like that? Is that what you're saying? Because it takes a very strong person to be online. Crying isn't a weakness, it's a strength. Most people just run away off of camera. Oh, can't cry over that. Fuck that. I don't care. See, that's the problem. People can't love and appreciate and accept each other for who they are, how they are. That's how I got here. No unconditional love. So, well, that's the thing, right? Living in the woods. Hey, Marge, how's it going? I didn't see you until just now. Um, I don't have a scarcity mindset. That's another thing with being on the internet is people, no offense, but you tend to repeat what's inside of you, right? So I find that a lot of people won't take the time to get to know me, and I have to answer the same questions over and over. But yeah, living in the woods, it's because in general society is degenerate. That's what it is. And a lot of those people don't realize that they are, and they think that they're great. So it's unfortunate. But I do believe that money is, this isn't negative. Like, money really is the root of all evil. Think about the things that people do for it. I mean, now pretty much everybody is a night ballerina. You know what that is? It's a nicer way to say sexual intimacy worker with the OF. It's just like, and it isn't okay. And they don't understand that's what you are. You know? Well, that's what I'm talking about. So they make it harder and harder to live. And instead of sticking to your guns, people cave and do things like make up stories for money or whatever. Honey. First of all, welcome, First Contact. That 31 Atlas is probably just a bullshit distraction to get people hopeful that somebody's going to come here and help us. They've done this for years and years with different comets. Don't you remember Heaven's Gate? That guy told the comet was going to come fly by the Earth and the aliens were going to pick them up, but they had to themselves to get there. It's the same thing. It's the same thing with the rapture stuff and the, I know, people like to live in this because it gives you hope. And then you'll be let down and you'll find the next thing that gives you hope. But it's just nothing. It doesn't mean anything. That's why they keep talking about it and da-da-da. It's to get your hopes and your energy up, you know? Oh, and Avi Leob or whatever, that fella's like a disinformation person. He's a Jesuit. He's one of those. Kabbalah side, the Cabal. All those people talk is nonsense. You know? Listen, I need to show you guys something. Okay. So, you know, they always play on words and shit like that, right? I got to show you this because it just blew my mind. So, you know how they say, even that Neil, what's his deGrasse or whatever, that stupid asshole, he said, oh, Pluto's not a planet. And then Pluto's a planet. Okay, whatever. So, that idiot, that smug fucker, I do not like him at all. He's like, oh, well, technically, the Earth is pear-shaped. Yeah, all right, well, watch this. Well, that's not going to come off. Okay, so I need to imagine this, okay? Because, shit, I'm going to ruin it. Imagine this. It's pear, right? Hang on. The pear. So you have this pear shape, okay, of the earth. But look, if you put rings here and here and separate them, all right, it looks like that. If you turn this way, it looks like this with the rings. So the first ring is here, and then in a wider section on the second ring is there. And then the final ring is here at the bottom. You see what I'm saying? So if you turn the pear-shaped earth this way, it looks like that. It's always a stupid fucking play on words. Do you understand what I just explained? It's all about the perspective. And so technically they think, oh, we're not lying or whatever. Chode. Exactly, Harley. He is a chode. And just like the smugness and the attitude and like, oh, I can't fucking stand that. But all of those people are like that, you know? And they like pretending like they're the fucking smartest, best people in the world. You know, so that's why. And people be like, oh, Abby, tell us about the Atlas 31. Oh. That's what he fucking wants. They do. Yeah, I know. And of course the media, because that's how you really have to look into the whole Tartaria thing. It's a shame that they deleted that old world order documentary because it was excellent. And that's, of course, why they deleted that and removed it. You can't put that on YouTube. It's been removed off of YouTube completely. Not just from me, everywhere. They completely rewrote their history, how they wanted it to be, everything, and made themselves on top, of course. And that's how they keep themselves there, by keeping everybody else underneath them, purposely. But it's just like voting. They give you the illusion of change, but nothing really changes. And I noticed that since I was like 10 years old. I wrote that about my book, that I told my parents. I was way younger than that because my parents were still together at the time. I was probably like 7 or 8 years old. And they were going to the voting booth, just like every fucking year. And I just looked up at them and I was like, I don't know why you guys drag me to this every year. You're fighting and arguing every time, and you go to vote, and then you're fighting and arguing, and nothing fucking changes. It doesn't matter which ones of you who's voted, whether it was, what do we have? We have red, blue, and orange here. It doesn't matter. Red, blue, or orange. It doesn't fucking matter. It's all the same bird. It all is the same source. So whatever they want to do, they're going to do it, but they're going to give you the illusion that you made that choice and it's going in a different direction, right? But then there'll be one group of people that'll be like, oh no, it's because they voted liberal. This is why we're here. Or oh, it's because they, voted conservative. This is why we're here. And both sides are extremely stupid, not realizing that both of those wings, left and right, blue or red, are controlled by the same bird. Dummies. Hey, Merv. I'm sorry. Hey, Merv. Hi, baby. So, yeah. But, yeah. So that's what a lot of people are suffering under right now. I told you. They would squeeze and squeeze people. And that's why they do it. It's almost like a test. Like, how much can you be squeezed before you cave? You know? It's the same thing with people who, they may have had genuine experiences, like they saw a UFO or they had this or that happen, but then you always have to have something more extraordinary to keep relevant, right? That's why I didn't go very far, because I don't have all these extraordinary claims. And they don't even have extraordinary proof. But it's okay, because it gives people the illusion that it could happen to them, and anything to uplift them from this hell. I've said this before, I'm pretty sure we're in hell. People don't believe me, but I'm pretty sure we are. People think, oh, it's a place of heaven and hell. Maybe. But I don't know anywhere else where the things that happen here wouldn't happen like in hell. People just are oblivious to it. They don't know what's going on. But yeah, I'm pretty sure we live in hell. Even in the Bible, it says Satan was sent to the earth, and the earth is now his domain. We're in hell. Yep. And you're here with me. So if you're watching this, you're in hell too. Congratulations. Yeah. I think what it is it's not permanently like this. It just goes to reflect the cycles of things like the Kali Yuga and the Satya Yuga, these conflicting light and dark times. And in Satan's little season, which is extraordinarily interesting, and I believe it, I'd believe it. It's so shitty now, I would believe it. Yeah. People think, oh, one day Satan's going to come. No. The adversary or this opposing force. No. We're already living in the opposing forces world. None of this is controlled by good. Okay? So, honestly, I think so. Because it has the illusion of being good, social media. Doesn't it, Marge? It has the illusion of it being good. But then look what it's turned into. A fucking cesspool. You know what I mean? Oh my God, really bad. Like there's women online. She's a fucking lawyer, a professional advocating, petitioning that she should have the right to have sex with her dog. Oh my God, we're in hell. My armpits are sweating. Fuck, it's hot. There's a Ninja Turtle green car sitting outside. Anyway. Oh, Marge. It's not about that, hun. I don't think you understand. I guess you create your reality, right? Like I said, you can create a heaven on earth, but that doesn't still change the fact of where you are. A lot of people will be in denial about this. It's all right. It's the same thing. Working your way up out of here to graduate out. So, oh God. Is it $28,000 now, Stephen Brooks? That guaranteed is Sarah R. Adams. She's charging $28,000. I think it might have been 20,000, but whatever. Thousands and thousands of dollars so that you can contact her for her to contact her alien friends. Yeah. The deception is so high, people don't realize it. Like, it's and the one thing that they tell you, see, they think that I'm talking about religion. Again, you have to shift your perspective, right? That's a story that's been told to us a lot, over and over and over again. Even the stories of Abel and Cain, we're talking about people like Cain, the person that smashed his brother's head in because his father favored him more. It's the same thing. Satan was upset, didn't want to bow to the new creation, which is us. You got to remember the story. Forget religion. It's made up anyway. But it's the moral of the story that counts. This happens to people as well. You don't have to be a negative entity or a fucking demon or a reptilian shapeshifter. Come on. It happens to human beings, just like you and I, normal flesh and blood human beings. But this is where it separates. There's people who would do that and people who would not. And it's true about pride and ego and all of that. It's the number one thing. And that's why a lot of people can't, even these people that are making up stories about extraterrestrials and whatever, they can't go back. It's against their pride. They have too much pride to be like, well, you know what? I had to kind of make extravagant stories and say this and that because I knew people wouldn't listen to me, and I was trying to teach them certain things or blah, 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 blah. But they won't be able to be like, I did wrong. That's what I was hoping Corey Good would do. He already told the truth in his deposition, right? I was hoping he would use that to his advantage, right? He wouldn't be able to knock out everybody else like bowling pins by telling the truth of what he was actually doing, right? And showing people the way of how they do it too. They probably already are. That anybody can be the ambassador of your own life. That's what the whole superhero thing was for me. It's not about being a hero for you. It's about being the hero of my own life. The person that I needed when I was younger. And the person that I wanted to be as an adult. You see? It doesn't matter about having superpowers. It's about the way that you see yourself. I'm my own hero. It's nice to be able to kind of like share myself with others, to give them hope and inspiration to be able to climb that mountain too. Because it's not like I'm at the top of it or anything, but it's almost like looking back and be like, you can do it. I know it's hard as shit. Look at me. I made it. Come on. You know what I mean? I don't know. People call me all kinds of names. Think when I do the photo shoots, like I'm a narcissist or whatever, and don't understand that I was doing that for my own self-esteem. It had nothing to do with anybody else. I don't give a fuck what they think. I was really happy about it. Doesn't mean I'm better than anybody else. I just never was able to see myself that way, That's what sucks about being on the internet. Well, the thing about it is that it's an influence, right? I was talking about the whole deception of the world. I don't know if it's a test to see through it or not, but there's been a lot of people Come here, Salem. Come here, my big fat chunky monkey. Here comes honky tonky, chunky monkey. Hey, LT. Come here, honky tonk chunk. He's on his diet food, so he's got some left though. So we got some diet food now. El chunk. Ow! Yeah. So yeah, and they don't really understand, but it's true. Very, very, very true, because a lot of people realize this too. It's been extremely difficult for me because it's something that you have to experience yourself. It opens your eyes, right? Like Claudio Nocelli always talks about perspective. I didn't exactly understand what he was talking about when I first was reading this, on his page in his books or whatever. But I do now, you know. And adapting to change is extraordinarily important, especially the way that you see things, you know. But the deception runs extremely deep, and it's true, the devil makes you think the opposing force or like evil doesn't exist, like, or that it isn't there, or that it isn't occurring, when it really is. And you just kind of, if the person doesn't experience it, this way, be like, oh, she must be crazy because it's something that you do not understand yet. Yeah. Like, there's a bunch of buildings and stuff that are melted. And a lot of this stuff from Tartaria, they have these extraordinary buildings with no bathrooms. Why? It's because we didn't go to the bathroom back then. We didn't have to. No eating, sleeping, nothing like that. The Millennial Kingdom was different. And it's strange because even in Sailor Moon, they call it the Millennial Kingdom. The Silver Millennium or whatever. Yeah. So the great thing about it is that we still have one more chance, to see through all of this bullshit and understand where you are and not give in to that. It's very difficult because we even have influencers that are, telling you like it's okay, but really who you're only helping is the people at the top of the pyramid, like this. At the bottom of the pyramid here. Well, that's why you always see like the all-seeing eye at the top of the pyramid, like this. It's these people here. We're all down here, or this way. We're all down here. It's these people. And so now they're getting us all to go against each other, divide and conquer, right? At first it started with the gender war, then men against women. Now it's every ethnicity against the other. Immigration war, doing this when they're the ones that flooded everybody, telling all these people, oh yeah, we're going to give you a great fucking life. We're going to give you this. We're going to give you that. And everybody took advantage of it. Fake colleges, friggin' fake immigration scams, all kinds. People benefited from it everywhere. Oh, we can take advantage. They jumped right on it. Because like I said, people become desperate for money. And they see what money can get you. And then they want that. They want those things. But like I said, the only thing that cannot be bought is love. True, real, unconditional love, real, unconditional friendship. It cannot be bought. So it doesn't matter how, like, people think that these, because I had money at one time. I was wealthy when I lived in California. I had everything I ever wanted and needed. Go anywhere I want, go get fast food, shopping every single day, travel. I was well off. So we know what it's like to have money. But it didn't fix those things that are truly not able to be purchased. And even that's why you have all these really rich people and they get into sick, demented shit because they realize this. And no matter how much money they get, they cannot buy it. It's not possible. Oh, poor Billy Carson. All those people really got into it deep. But like David Wilcock, they have some type of, I don't know what. And it makes it seem like it's helping you, but it's not. It's really working for your ultimate downfall. As you can see what happened with him. So I don't really know. I feel like in a way the past is kind of repeating itself, and then I'm just sitting there again watching this shit happen, not doing anything until it's too fucking late. But what we really need to do is we need to stop fighting each other, forget religion, forget all this, stop trying to force each other to fit into a mold that we're all not going to fit into, and unify like the monkey in the barrel, holding each other's hands to unify against the real enemy, which is these ruling class elites. See, it's so inverted. Like, basically, the losers of the world think that they're the winners and the greatest people in the world. They're fucking awful. And that's the truth of it. You can't run away from it. Like, it's just the way it is. So, but all we can do is just keep trying, I guess, to get people to see where we're really at. Do you know where you are? We're not in the jungle, baby. We're in hell. So, the good thing is that whatever happened in my last life, if I didn't know Christ, I do now. You know what I mean? If I didn't know unconditional love back then, I do now. So you always get another chance, I guess. And that was the whole point of me sharing the story in my first book. It's a warning, to not have those things repeat a second time. But I knew that I couldn't save everybody, you know what I mean? I always knew that. I was hoping that I could help more people so they didn't have to fucking go through this again. But it's just something that people have to do on their own. It's important. But you can help. It's certainly taken a lot of stress off of me, just sharing, how I've progressed through this journey. So yeah. Like even Charlie Kirk, hologram. They did that on purpose. Emotional people are easier to control. If you're all riled up, you'll be less logical and you're more likely to make mistakes and not notice the distractions as easily. You know what I mean? They make you desperate enough, and any little thing, you know? Like anytime the Schumann resonance goes off, people are like, "Oh, it's on! The event is coming! The solar flash!" And it just never occurs, because they want this so bad. No, honey, it's I posted it on my Telegram. You got to keep up. There is a literal hologram machine behind Kirk, and there's a trap door right where his tent was. You got to watch it. There's blood pouring out of his neck, and then when they're pulling him away, there's no blood trail and no blood on his shirt. So it was a hologram. You have to watch it. It's excellent. Yeah, it's not bullshit. It's a hologram. It's on my Telegram. I posted a lot of stuff about Satan's little season, which is how Christ already returned in the millennial reign. That's why we have all these incredible architecture buildings that we did not build and we still cannot build today. And all that stuff. Not like the pyramids and stuff, but later on with Tartaria. Okay. And like I said, like I'm sure that I warned you about internet censorship. This channel you're watching now has been flagged as harmful content. There is a harmful content act currently going on in Canada. So my content is blocked. for the most part, YouTube does not push it out and it's not suggested. Yeah. So this is why I've been kind of asking people for help. But there's certain things that I'm not allowed to post here because it's completely censored and blocked. But that's one of them. And it shows you him getting shot. It's not fake. It's not CGI. And the blood is fake. Even his face is fake. You don't make that face. You know, I've seen real death, okay? Not in person, but I've seen real death. And it's not like that. The blood does not pour out like that, okay? It pumps out with every heartbeat and it goes fucking everywhere, okay? Not like in the movies, but it does because of the pressure. So you just have to watch it and see for yourself. That's up to you. You can't let the emotional shit get to you. I don't even know what the fucking guy talked about. I don't even know what he is. I don't know. I don't know if he's left or right. I have no fucking clue. I think I heard him say some diss about like Kamala Harris, so I assume that he's like on the red side. And that's what I mean. They did it on purpose to rile everybody up. Even when I was listening to him, he sounds like a trained speaker. So of course he could have been a politician. But whatever, you know, whatever it's no, not Mossad. It was to emotionally disrupt the public. For a lot of people, having that happen, it was kind of like the final straw for them. Like I said, emotional people are illogical people, and illogical, angry, upset people are easier to control because they're not in their right, calm state of mind. Yeah. So it's on my Telegram. I know a lot of people don't have Telegram, but you know what? It's on YouTube. So I'll just get you the link right now. So, and people are probably going to report it, and then it'll be down on purpose. See what I'm saying? So that people can't see this. But the guy shows you the camera that's behind Charlie on the back wall pointing down, and that the actual tent, it has to be a certain size for this 3D, no. The, whatever it is, what did I call it? Holographic technology, whatever the fuck it is. You're going to see in a second. Hold on. And it's just a little thing. It's expensive, but you can buy it online. And they're little things that you can mount, and it needs a certain area to project. But this is why a lot of even my posts, on my post part of it's not just writing, and I have any kind of video link, it's not shared. So if you notice, you'll go over my post, like some posts with just writing, I'll have like, I don't know, 30 something likes. And on, Kirk's in Valhalla. And Valhalla is a witness fucking protection program. See you in Valhalla, assholes. Valhalla is a witness protection program. Of course the FBI director knows where that motherfucker is. They did that on purpose. He has nothing to do with Vikings or Norse. He's like, what, Indian, that fella? No offense, but that had to do with the witness protection program. Valhalla. Well, they think they're a bunch of fucking warriors. Absolutely not. That was code language. So hold on a second, because I gave you the first link. That's when okay, so you probably don't use Telegram. Okay, that is, he was talking about, okay, sorry. Hold on. I don't think you're using Telegram, so I'm just going to assume that people aren't. Valhalla is a witness protection program. It's all here in my Telegram. See you in Valhalla. That's on the post. There was actually books about Kirk's death released before on Amazon. It was on the 9th. Books about his death, and he wasn't even dead yet. So, but I put all of this on my Telegram. A lot of people are like, oh, I don't want to use it or whatever. Well, that's because they've told you that it's like dangerous or whatever. It's just a place to make posts. Okay, so I don't know. I can't get the whole post in here, but see, I'm just a little bit annoyed because I do all this work and then I have to do it all over again. So I gotta take half the post, copy and paste, take hours, go from hours. Sorry, you guys. I'm not in a bad mood. I don't know, I'm just in a blah mood. Not necessarily bad, not necessarily good. Oh my God. It's so long. Okay, now I have to cut this part out. Hang on, I'm going to give more links, but this is the part. Oh my God. Deception. Can you put the N? Nope. Okay. That's deception. Oh, Jesus. Murphy, why? Blah, blah, blah. Of course, that's why his wife's all acting weird. His children, closest relatives, didn't attend the grand funeral. Only his wife, who was accomplice in the deception. Where did I leave off? Accomplice in the deception. Okay, it just says, the rest of it says, I think this is the most credible theory of all, which I agree. So here's Charlie Kirk hologram part 1. And you might want to watch it as fast as possible because there are people actively out there just reporting videos and trying to take shit down so that you don't see it. So that they get so upset. Oh my God, Donald Trump, and just have steam coming from their ears that they don't actually pay attention. So the link that I've just given is part 1 of the hologram thing and part 2. You can literally buy hologram machines for yourself. I mean, if you're rich. But there, I've already done that. And in there again, you're gonna have to check it out on the Telegram because I don't want to be copying and pasting everything. And then there's Satan's Little Season post. I posted it September 29th. Who are we if Christ already reigned for 1,000 years? Well, but the rest of the dead live not again until 1,000 years were finished. So basically, we're the dead. We're not actually living. It's really, really interesting with the millennial reign. I will just send you that link as well. It's incredible. It's kind of sad, but at the same time, we still have millennial reign. And then link there. So those are the links to that. You can go and educate yourself on that if you want to. But it's really interesting. I have quite a few posts in there. Life in the Millennial Kingdom. You know, why all these buildings were big with the beautiful doorways and giants, all that kind of stuff. If we were immortal and we didn't poop, there was no bathrooms. There's posts about the ancient bells, which goes into all the sound healing technology, which helped us live longer lives. There's also the theory that there is a camp of saints, which the Christed beings, are at the North Pole or the South Pole. It just depends on who you hear it from. This is about magnetic north, though. But again, that's all in the end of, it's called Satan's Little Season. So Satan was apparently, the adversary was released July 4th, 1776. So that 1776 thing is like when the whole deception started, I guess, because that's when the reign began or whatever. It's extremely interesting. And it makes you go, oh, a lot of things start to click and make sense because, yeah, we are definitely in hell, in Satan's world. So I don't care if people think that's crazy. Like I said, it's easier to fool people than to convince them how badly they've been fooled. So, there. But yeah. So, Charlie's probably still alive, just in the witness protection program of Valhalla. So, somewhere else. Maybe on an island somewhere. No one will ever find him. You know. Robin Williams is still alive, by the way. Didn't die. Now he calls himself Uncle Pappy. Has millions of followers, but it's Robin Williams. He said, "Let Robin Williams live in peace. Not rest in peace. Live in peace." This is what they do to retire their character. Robin Williams never existed anyway. That wasn't his real name. But he's still alive. Yes. Yes. It's him. It's him. This is how bad it is, you guys. Celebrities that say that they've died, they're not actually fucking dead. I know. And you're gonna have to do the transvestigate, because a lot of the female celebrities are men, and a lot of the women celebrities were actually males. So the ones that you see that are female used to be male, and the ones that are men, like Keanu Reeves, used to be a woman. They transgender them. They invert them. Everything is like upside down world. I know it sounds crazy, but the only reason how I figured it out is because of the bone structure, finger length, hip. Yeah, Taylor Swift is a fucking guy. That's why she's so abnormally tall. She's a man. I'm not fucking with you right now. It fucks with you. It does. Even porn stars. It's because they want you to be totally unclean in any way that they can. So if you're lusting over this thing you think is a woman and it's actually a man, well, they're getting you to do a perversion. It's bad. It's not a joke. Yeah, the finger length and all of that. The finger length. So, and normally, males goes straight across. Females is in a slight V. You see? You know, Britney Spears, how she has those like indented things right here and right here? That's on a guy. The Adonis belt is for guys. Gwen Stefani, a guy. They're all men. And so they have these men lusting after women that are actually men, inverting their sexuality. I'm not fucking with you. Not fucking with you at all. Yeah, I'm going to give you the link. You need to look at this. You cannot, hormones will change a lot. Okay? But you cannot change the bone structure. You can move things with posing and different things like that to make them seem like they have a different shape. I'm going to get you some of the best. I put this, like, you can't put this stuff because YouTube does not approve. But even though it's on YouTube, I don't understand it. I'll get you the guy's channel. So Britney Spears was a guy. Christina Aguilera was a man. That's why she was on stage with a fake penis. Lady Gaga is a guy. Beyonce is a guy. Michelle Obama, a guy. Yeah. This is why after Joan Rivers said about Michelle, Obama is gay and Michelle being a tranny, they killed her. She's not probably dead. They just took her out of Hollywood and, whatever. But, yeah, it's true. Because Michelle used to be Michael. I don't know. Are people freaking out right now? Yeah. So the male index finger is shorter than the ring finger, right? I'm pretty sure. I don't know. The people that are doing the videos will show you a graph of how. So when we're in the ground, we're gonna have a male or female skeleton. That's how they can tell. Okay. Jawline is a big. If you see these women, they always have these big fucking square jaws and like big what is that called? Liner back fucking shoulders, like a football player. It's because they're dudes. It's not because they work out or whatever. You can see this guy's channel from Russia. He makes a pretty decent looking lady, even though he has giant football player shoulders. It's called transvestigate. But all these celebrities are inverted. So if you're sitting there wishing that, like I said, or what was his name? Russell Crowe used to be a woman. Tom Hanks used to be a woman. Yeah, there's lots of them. And as they age, their true gender starts to show through. Hang on. I can't remember the last time. It was weeks ago that I watched one of these. What do you call her? Oh, Nicole Kidman. Like Kidman, because she's a man. Nicole Kidman. Hang on. Yeah, Nicole Kidman is a guy. And the name is a play on words, Kidman, because she was turned as a child from woman to male. Hang on. I know, this is wild. I have talked about this before. Yeah, here it is. Russell Crowe, transvestigation. Grace Kelly. There's so many. Usually these beautiful women, you think, oh my God, she's such a female icon. Oh my God, Beyonce, I want to look just like her. Beyonce's a guy. Here it is right here. Next Wex backup. This is one of the ones that I'm subscribed to. Yeah. Courtney Cox, man. Sophie Turner, Game of Thrones, was a guy. Jeff Bezos' wife, guy. Princess Stephanie of Monaco, guy. Here. It's unreal. You just don't understand how badly you've been fooled. It's a guy. Dun, 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 dun. It's a guy. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I know. It freaks you the hell out. I'm telling you, look here. Next Wex backup. Go on then. Transvestigate. It's not a joke. It's not a conspiracy theory. It's for real. And that's why they push the trans agenda. That's what it is. There's the thing, right? Like, I got fooled once. There's a channel, I think it's with this fella, Butch Angel. Used to be a woman. I'll show you. Serena Williams are men. Yeah, I know. The Williams sisters, dudes. Who the fuck did I just say? Oh, Butch Angel. Look at this. I was listening to this person and had no clue that this person used to be a woman. Buck Angel, not Butch. Sorry. Buck Angel. I had no fucking idea that this used to be a woman. I have no problem with people like this, okay? But I'm just trying to show people how bad it is. Like how, like, people don't know. Well, they do that. Yes, of course they run the corn sites. We can't say that. But yeah, of course they do. And they do that on purpose. If they're going to hell, they're taking as many people as they can with them. It's if I'm going, you're fucking going with me. That's the mentality. Oh, it's okay, hon. It's okay. Just try to censor yourself. Or like, yeah. And they're trying, they show you a little bit in Boys Don't Cry because Hilary Swank, dude. Yeah. But the saddest thing is, you guys, that some of them don't know that's what happened to them. that's been done to them by their Illuminati families when they're very young. So they don't know. Some of them do, like Megan Fox knows that she was a guy and jokes about it. Megan Fox, if you've ever touched your penis, fellas, to Megan Fox, you were doing that to a man. I know. It's not like I'm not guilty of it. I mean, not with Megan Fox, but probably some of them, like, were any of the Backstreet Boys. I mean, oh, God. I liked Nick Carter. Oh, he was the most evil one. He sacrificed his fucking brother. He was my favorite, of course. Oh, Jesus, Murphy, why? So yeah, on that next Wex channel or whatever, you'll be able to see the Robin Williams stuff too. And he breaks that down. How you can tell it's him. And people were like, oh, Robin Williams was so hairy. What, you don't think he doesn't know how to use a clipper? Or laser hair thinning? Anything like that. Come on, you guys. And when you get old, your body loses testosterone and your hair falls out, man. Not only on your head, but on your chest too. So like I said, if you're sitting there and you're touching yourself to Britney Spears, they think that shit is funny. They think that is funny. You know, oh my God, that's a lady boy. Ah, ha, 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 ha. That's why they do it. It's to mock and destroy us in every way possible, to make us unclean, to show the creator that they were right and it was wrong, that we're not this great creation or whatever, in God's image or whatever. It's, you know, it doesn't have to do with religion. It's about the age-old story, you know. It just goes down to like how there's rivalry within siblings with their parents. It's the same. Oh God, you guys, listen, you have to stop blaming reptilian entities. That is probably 100% bullshit anyway. Let me explain this to you, because I already made a video about how I said that I don't believe in that reptilian nonsense, okay? First of all, you're giving these people way too much power, okay? If you really think that somebody like Jeffrey Epstein with his fake little Jew cap, because he's not really Jewish, he's a fake Jew. I've talked about this before. He's not really a person of Judea. He does not worship the Most High Creator God, okay? He's a fake Jew. And the thing about it is, these people go on rumors and stuff like that. They would rather you believe that they're an evil reptilian alien so that you fear them. It gives them more, oh, sorry, what about Buck? Yeah, so you knew who I was talking about. Oh, I didn't know Buck was a good-looking woman. You do know who I'm talking about, eh? I had no clue. I almost fell fucking over when I realized I thought that was a real man. I did, and that wasn't that fucking long ago, okay? It wasn't that long ago, but I'll never forget that because it shocked the shit out of me. That's how much hormones can change a person. Do you understand? So, or was I? Oh, about the reptilians, yeah. So the thing about it is that there's a lot of different darker entities that are going to be of different kinds. Now, we may have certain ones that are called upon, right? But I think it has to do with interdimensional beings, as in a spiritual thing. They may be able to combine with a human vessel for temporary periods where the victim may see this kind of shift of the dominant spirit taking hold of the host. But it's not like they can do that all the time. You know what I mean? There's just so many things that doesn't make sense and so much bullshit with it. And when David Icke started that reptilian thing, it was really to represent cold-blooded evil people, you know? Like, even if they do drink blood, we're talking about like the Cain bloodline, the bad seed. But as far as that, I mean, like I said, we always want a scapegoat to blame something on because they cannot accept that human beings are that bad. But they are. Some of them, not all of them, some of them, you know? And they've all positioned themselves to be in places like this because it's a club. Power in numbers and all of that. They're very good at unity, the bad guys. Even though they'll throw one or the other into the volcano the first chance they get to take their millions or their power and position, so it's nothing to be envious about. Well, there's definitely hormones in the milk. Yeah. Yeah. I do believe that there are a lot of hormones in the milk and the food and stuff like this which do affect different things within the human body. Remember, they want to fuck us up as much as possible in every way, physically, emotionally, mentally, and spiritually. They hate us. And it's this opposing force. Like I said, there are beings that had to step aside behind the veil to let us live our creation and our life here. And they're not happy about that. Okay. But as far as this big, I really do believe that this whole reptilian thing is a scapegoat, something to blame things on. It makes it easier for people to accept, I think, and feel. Yeah, if you have something to blame it on. I'm not saying that these things aren't real because I've had my own experiences in the spirit realm with sexual assault and a reptilian being. So it is. I mean, I only remember it happening that one time, but this is why I felt bad and sorry for David Wilcock. But I also knew that it happened to him in the spirit realm, that it didn't happen to him in his physical body. Not that it's any less disturbing, but it's not like I walk around with like Me Too on my back with that, okay? Because I don't. But I just don't believe in that whole ideal. David Icke started that a while ago, and that's where that took off. And I think that, like I was saying, people may see the darker magics that they do because they do those things, and they hurt a lot of children, and it's because children have a lot of energy. That's why, and it's very pure and clean, and that's what sustains them for the most part. But it's the same thing with the adrenochrome in the blood, and that's why they do it. And I mean, where else in hell would that occur and nothing be done about it? It's only the illusion that something's done about it. It's on such a wide scale. You'll hear about them maybe stopping it a little bit, but really, most police officers are Masons. Yeah, a lot of them are in every town and city. I posted about that on my Telegram too. So, Oh yeah, share. Yeah, share. Yeah. You got to go and do the transvestigate thing. Look at that channel. That channel that I gave you guys. It's shocking. And it'll gross you out and freak you out, but at least it'll wake you up a little bit more as to what they're doing. And their agenda becomes more and more apparent. Like I said, that's the reason why they do it, is to mess with you and to spiritually make you unclean. It's almost like feeding us like human meats and stuff like that to make us also cannibals, just like them. It's to drag them down with you. That's the whole purpose of it. So whatever they're doing, it's because they know they're not going to change. They're not going to truly be apologetic for what they've done, for hurting others, for being selfish, and all of that. They don't give a fuck. So they're going to ride this out, and they want to take as many people with them. Yeah. That's why they try to live as long as possible, too, because they don't want to face their judgment in the end. Oh, Jesus. Help me, give me patience, give me strength, don't let me freak out. Listen, the whole Enki and Enlil thing is probably not true. Okay, it goes back to the same story about Cain and Abel, exactly the same, or Jesus and Satan, exactly the same. Horus and Set, exactly the same. It's the moral of the story. Okay, and people will take advantage. Oh, it's this side, it's this, blame that. Listen, that was probably a bunch of shit. Yeah, of course it does. Yeah, they tell you the truth in movies and TV all the time, just like Jupiter Ascending. They put it in there as well. That their immortality serum with a key ingredient coming from people, says the muse. Hey, what's going on? I haven't seen you in a while. Well, it's probably me who hasn't been around, but welcome back. But yeah, with Enlil and Enki, it goes the same thing of Cain and Abel. All these people know it's the moral of the story, and a lot of that shit is symbolic and allegorical, right? It's all about that. The Bible is too. It's symbolic and allegorical. And it's the same with what David Icke was talking about all that time ago when the whole reptilian thing came around. Because they really are cold-blooded, lizard-like people who just, there's something fucking wrong with them. I agree. But it's taught and it's learned and it goes down the family lines because it's all they know. They don't get unconditional love. Their parents influence them this way where they really, really think these things are okay. And I know this because my mother had an influence on me in certain ways that I had to break out of. Yeah. So that's what it is. But the whole reptilian thing, I would stay away from that because it's a form of racism as well, right? It's like I said, a scapegoating thing. And then, well, if all humans aren't the same, then why would you assume all these certain type of reptile-looking beings are the same? Because it goes back to the entities of fire, which are the salamanders within the elementals in the unseen realm. So, I mean, it is a certain kind of racism when you're pinning a whole bunch of attributes to a certain kind of being. It may not even be true. None of us have even met one. Have you met one? No. So we're only hearing stories about it. That's what I'm saying. And in heightened times of trauma where there's terrible things going on, but there's also spiritually terrible things going on, you might be able to see through the veil, but that doesn't mean they're a shapeshifter. Jeffrey Epstein was no reptilian shapeshifter. He's just a pervert. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It's just common sense. You know what I mean? There's going to be some beings that are going to be assholes, just like human beings. Some of us are fucking assholes. Some of us not, though. You know? But if aliens came down and be like, hey, you like that Jeffrey Epstein? Fuck no. You know what I mean? So why would we think all the reptilians, just because they look a little bit reptile, or a child raper and eater? That's pretty harsh. Sounds like racism to me. So there might be an agenda with that also. I mean, of course, that must be awful and embarrassing for reptilian peoples who aren't like that. Just like me. But like, what are you, like the KKK? Why? Just because I'm fucking white? No, absolutely not. That'd be the same thing. See, a reptilian? Are you a fucking child raper? Imagine. That must be fucking awful. Oh, that must be awful. So no, we shouldn't be blaming it on any one group of beings at all. Then you might as well just blame it on all the black people. It sounds exactly the same what people do when they do that. It doesn't sound any different to me. Don't use the same fucking water fountain. That nonsense. Oh, Christ, come back. I talked about this before too, where like I said, there's going to be people, your experience is never going to be the same, these entities, as another person. Doesn't matter who it is. Like, for example, the Greys. Some of these beings are like 400 fucking years old. I'm 40 years old and I am so tired and cranky. I can't imagine what it's like for them being 400 years old and having to deal with human beings screaming and yelling about how there's some fucking monster hurting them when they're just doing spiritual surgery. I've talked about this before. That must be so fucking annoying. No wonder they just tell them to shut and not let them speak half the time, because you're 400. I think they're just tired, cranky old assholes, and they can't help it. I've had encounters with all kinds of things over my life. And even with them, I'd be like, can you say that a little fucking nicer? They don't understand. Some of them are so fucking old that they don't understand. And they're like, oh, yes. And they will. And they'll apologize. So it just depends, right? It depends on the spiritual hierarchy and where you're in it and all of that too. This is why people tend to say that people should stay away from this stuff, because it's so big that it's hard to grasp and hang on to. And it keeps growing, unfortunately. St. John Julian Baba. I don't know who that is, Merge, but I'm glad. I know that I'm not the only one who says and thinks these things, because logic and common sense. With experience and observation and stuff like this, you just put two and two together. You know, if I know that I'm not like other human beings that, these higher entities may frown upon, then I also understand that it goes both ways. Even some of the ones like the better looking ones, the Palladians or these Nordics or whatever, just because they're pretty and good looking doesn't mean they won't shoot you in the face the moment you're not looking. You understand? So that's also what you have to be careful of as well, because people are going to choose sides. It doesn't matter what you look like or where you come from. It depends upon your experience in this life and how it shapes and molds you, which will determine your decisions in life and ultimately your afterlife. Welcome, Mike Newcomb Music and Vlog. Welcome to the chat. Yeah, I listened to Lacerda years ago. And that's, another thing that I was like, well, she's a reptilian. She's not that bad. Some people I think are a little bit babyish too, and I think that they expect people, human or not, to speak in fluffy unicorns and cotton candy. I don't know why I saw that, but you understand what I'm saying? Like, they expect it to be pretty, but not everything in life is pretty, And again, part of unconditionally loving is accepting people and loving them for how they are and not requiring them to change, appreciating them for who they are. I'll try, Marge. I will try and remember. If you could comment it after the live is over, I would appreciate that. I don't mean any offense by it. It's just that I didn't mention this. There's a lot going on in the spirit realm at the moment. It's not bad, but it's just busy. And so I'm kind of juggling a few things and also having my own experiences. I met with those people again, but it was only for a couple of seconds. And I was just throwing fists everywhere. And there was somebody again laughing in the background, and they go, just give her a moment to calm down. I was seriously, I popped up wherever I was, and I was just throwing hands like this, punching whoever I fucking could. I don't know why. And that's all it was. And I can remember hearing somebody laugh and go, just give her a minute to calm down. And that was it. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the spirit realm. And they don't let me remember it all because I got a big mouth. I tell everybody. Oh, who? Learn more about fruit? How the fuck do you even know, Stephen? Who is telling you that there's Elo Jim from Aldebaran? Who told you this? Even if that's Maria Orsic, whoever the fuck they were talking to back then. We don't know. See, this is the thing. People are wasting their time. It doesn't matter if you, hey, hi, Fabio. Well, wait, just let me finish what I was saying. Oh, if you're going to waste your time studying these things, it may not even be correct information. We don't know the people that have given it this information. We don't know their experience, if they're aware who they're actually really talking to. You see? So how can you actually be even sure that there's the Elohim from Aldebaran? And that's what they want you to waste your time on. You see? That's the whole point of it. You could read that whole book that Elena Danaan wrote about the alien races that she copied from the Russian alien book of races. You can, well, for the most part, added some of her own. But you could do all of that and study all of that. And it doesn't matter because you may never, ever, ever meet these people. Ever. Never. And your experience may be completely different than the person who you're studying from. That's the point of it. That's why it's a waste of time. Because even it'd be like somebody, you going to them and asking them about me. How the fuck do they know? The best thing to do is learn from the source when it's your time to do so. Really, I would suggest learning about the stuff within you, not things that are out there. That's why I said don't sit around and debate about the shape of the earth. Round or flat, it doesn't fucking matter because you don't have the ability to see it. You cannot fly out there and see it with your own eyeballs, so it's a waste of fucking time. And why would you take the word of the fucking Satanists? But again, if you don't change your perspective, like I was talking about earlier, this and then changing it to look at it from the top down, you would see the rings like this. That's about having your perspective, being able to change and adapt. Well, if you don't know about the subjects, it's suggested to learn about it. That's the whole point of being here. You know, like I was talking about earlier, people get stuck into the same cycles of doing the same things, and this is why their lives tend to stay the same. I'm guilty of it a little bit, but I'm trying to make as much change as possible. You know, people think that I just sit here all day. I fucking don't. I have a life, I've got a routine, I do things, and it doesn't involve the internet. And I don't need to be posting pictures and updating everybody with what I'm doing with my life all the time. If I want to come on and tell you about what's going on or I need to talk, then I will do so. But that's why I always say that I don't have any other social media other than this channel and what I've advertised on this channel, so Rumble and Telegram. But other than that, I don't use. Well, thanks, Marge. I mean, I've definitely collected quite a few things that I think are very important for people to understand so they can see the world around them clearly, you know? Because the only way out of here is if you do, you know? That's the thing of it. It's like graduating school, soul school, but it's just slightly different, and there's a lot of different kind of tests. Well, I truly feel, Drumans, that's Fabio. Uh, it's not like I'm different on purpose or anything. I made myself this way because I took the time to learn. Even if I didn't understand it all the way, I kept watching until I grasped it in some way. You know, even if I thought, oh, that's crazy, I tried to learn about it anyway. And then I realized, oh, okay, and understood it in a way where it didn't seem so crazy to me anymore. You know, I actually did make a short video about that, about crazy often being misunderstood. But I didn't post it. I just was like, nah. And just walked away from feed and left it, went back to my book or whatever. But I think mostly I've been focused on like my self care and health and stuff like that. And like even with my working out, I'm rebuilding my muscles and stuff like that. You know, because I lost a lot of muscle over these years, struggling with like my eating disorder and whatnot. So really, I don't know if it's technically that. I just lose my appetite for days at a time. But yeah. Well, thanks, John. So, and I, of course, there is meaning in it. There's meaning in the joyful times and the times of suffering. And I think that what I have lacked doing in my life is taking the energy and power that comes with pain and turning that into something useful rather than something destructive. So making it create something with it, build with it, rather than having it tear you apart. Thanks for praying, Marge. I think that always helps. It's a full moon, so um, I'm sure there'll be people out there doing their oogie boogie fucking bullshit like usual. Yeah, once you learn how to do that, I mean, of course, you got to go through the pain, and then it's almost like, well, now that you have this, you got to figure out what you're going to do with it, right? Oh, good. We're, I'm sure we're all glad that your liver is well, John. I think I gave you advice before about how to take care of your liver and your kidneys better. You're gonna have to try to detox. That's what your liver and everything for. It gets out the poisons and stuff, as well as your kidneys. So try to focus on that. Things that are filtering. Garlic's really good for your blood. Cinnamon's really good for your blood. It's very cleaning. Onion is very good for you. If you can eat a raw garlic and stomach that, it's very beneficial. Oh yeah, see, I do remember. Yeah, good. Well, I'm sure that's not the only reason it's fine, but good for you taking care of yourself. I'm glad your body is well. Yeah, the energy has to be released, right? You're right, Drumans. That that's what I was saying about my book, and I find that the more that I write things down, it's almost like it's literally removing itself from me and going on to the paper. It's difficult to go back and read it. I wish I could find somebody to proofread the book and let me know, you know, what they think of it, or if something maybe I should leave out, or blah 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 blah, or, you know. Uh, but you know, that's what it's been like. So, and I'm enjoying it. I'm not like putting too much pressure. I took like about mm, actually I didn't do all that much writing this week specifically. Like now that it's Sunday, I'll start writing again because it was pretty overwhelming to go through my entire childhood until I think like I said, I'm heading to California and I'm 18. So yeah, yeah. Thanks, Fabio. It like I was explaining, they'll both be out and on Kindle, and I'm not going to be charging people a lot of money. And this is why. It's like I said, I don't get money for it anyway. Amazon takes all the money. So I don't want Amazon making money off of my shit that I don't even get a profit off of. You see what I'm saying? I don't want to make them rich. So it's going to be as cheap as possible. And it sucks because it is a way that I can support myself, but it's not going to fucking work anyway. You know, if I explained that to people before, selling books, like I sold, I think 44. I got a payment one time of like $1.38, and then another one of like $3.63. It wasn't even $5 for 44 books. Fuck that. Fuck that, you guys. Oh, I totally forgot to bring my tea. But that's why. It's not that my work isn't worth anything. It's not that. And I don't know how else to sell it. You see? I don't know. So I've always been conflicted about this, but I've always said this too, that I am content as long as I have what I need. Will I have enough money to be able to go to Argentina if Claudio has like a meet and greet? Fuck no. And that'll suck because then I'll never be able to meet him. And I really fucking want to. Damn. I was go right stupid for a guy. I'm just gonna take like a 5 minute break. I'll be right back. Come on, man. It's outside. Come here, Marvin. Marvin. All right. Well, I don't know what else to talk about. So, Marv's outside, and if there's anything you want to talk about, I think I rambled on a lot today, said a lot of things that I normally don't talk about, but whatever. Oh, yeah, I was talking about Claudio before I left. God dang it. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Maybe I'm supposed to learn something from it. Stop pining over guys that I don't know. Maybe that's it. Because, oh, well, I think I might have this habit of projecting what I hope a person would be or something. I don't know. I haven't figured it out yet. Because, see, when I seen him post a picture of himself in his underwear on Instagram, I was like, I don't know. A man of spirit, a real spiritual fella. Yeah, and like I'm not expecting him to be, because there's a couple dudes on YouTube that are literally like thinking that one thinks he's Archangel Michael and the other one thinks he's Archangel Gabriel. And yikes! I definitely that's not what I expected. But I just thought that, I don't know. Well, and it's not because I'm jealous. This happened with the other fella, the twin flame guy. Um, just well, if you go on some of the people that he is following, the women have fake lips, fake boobs, and fake ass, and like, well, one of them's literally naked in a Christmas outfit. All of them are in come fuck me clothes. And it's very lustful. And so yeah, I'm still, I was just hoping for better behavior, better, you know. But that's what he likes. And it's not like I feel inadequate or less than or jealous. It's just kind of a turn off, you know? I don't know. Well, yeah, Fabio. You know what I mean? Like when you're saying that you're an extraterrestrial contact and you're talking to people of the higher society, you'd think that you'd have, like, what would that be? Higher standards? You know, not all the women are naked. There's so many photos. I took pictures just in case he says one day that he wasn't like that or he's not like that, because he definitely is. And I don't know, like I feel bad a little bit, but then again, you're misrepresenting yourself. You're saying that you're an extraterrestrial contact, that you sat at a table with Helen Morris, and yet you can't produce a real photo of her, that she even exists. At first, he talks about her coming to him as like a spirit form and colors and astral or whatever. And then he says, well, I met her and we were at a facility where she shows me this map, the map round thing. He did an AI video about it, so there's things that don't add up. And it's unfortunate because I did it to myself. Like, of course, I'm upset with myself, not with him, because it was me who put those things on him. You know what I mean? I expected more from somebody like that, though. You see? So it sucks, and I'm sorry, like, because I have never met him. But of course, when you are a public figure and you have a public image, you would think that, you would act a bit more proper, right? Like that you'd want a lady, not an Instagram slut. I call them Insta sluts. I'm sorry, I know it's judgmental and it's mean, but it's sickening and it makes other women look bad. Like the outfits they're wearing, I've seen on women that stand in the corner. So, like one of them there, her nipple is showing. The tiniest bikinis I've ever seen. Talking about how natural and organic and spiritual you are on the beach with your ass out. Even the freaking tribal people in the jungle don't do that. So, I've used the thumbnail for this video in a couple of my videos. What that is they used to use pools to reflect the moon for almost like seeing visions in the water, almost like using it as a crystal ball. You know what I mean? You know how people will use like tea leaves and shit? Yeah. So it's a portal gateway, and it's used for seers, SEERS, and mystics. Yeah. But I just think that it's really pretty with the moon reflected into the pool. Yeah. That's the only reason why I used it, because I couldn't think of anything else. So I just went into my downloaded pictures and chose one. But it's kind of like a gateway type of thing. In my Gateway and Portals video, I'm pretty sure I used that picture. Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, Fabio, like you would want to protect your image. And I do not understand. I mean, I'm sorry, maybe I'm making an assumption, but it just seems highly inappropriate for someone who's supposed to be spiritual and, a contact for these otherworldly peoples, extraterrestrials, extra land dwellers, but then you're chasing tail like that. You know what I mean? It's normal to try and find a partner, yes, but you would think that an extraterrestrial ambassador or a contact would have higher standards rather than chasing lustful things like that. Now, everyone has seen you naked on the internet. There's nothing left for the imagination. Yes, mirror of a mirror, and then what you see in the mirror. That's exactly right, Muse. Yeah. It's an ancient technique that they used to do a long time ago. Some people still use it, of course. Just like some people think that mirrors are portals and all of that. Gateways and all that. Yeah. So I don't know, like I said, maybe I'm just supposed to learn to stop putting these hopes and wishes of what I would hope to find in a partner in others. So, what's that word? Not irresponsibly, but in a quick way before thinking about it. I can't remember the word, but that's probably what it is, because I just don't think that person exists now. It's been years. He's never said anything to me. And it's not like I expected him to acknowledge my existence or anything, but you'd think that, even with the dreams and the stuff, the lucid dreams that I've had with him in it, I've never dreamt of somebody so much. especially a person that I've never met before. So I don't know. I'll just take it as a learning lesson and leave it at that. And it sucks because I was always hoping that I would find these things in a male that we could create together, not just children, but create life together, be with another person who's of like intellectual mind, heart, and spirit, and all of that. Hmm. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen. So, you know, oh well. So, what's my view on using cannabis? Well, here's the thing. Like I've said this before, I'm not over here having a good time. I use it to supplement the loneliness I have, and for friends and family, and have people around. And so it's a band-aid on a bullet wound, and I'm fully aware of that. But it's the only thing that I've found helps my CPTSD and me manage it without any type of support system or even getting a hug or a friendly smile. You see what I'm saying? So I know probably a lot of people think that I'm over here having a good time, but I'm not at all. And I'm actually just on the scraps of weed right now. I have to, after I'm done this, I'm going to go walk to the weed store and get more because I thought that I would be okay, and now I'm already annoyed. So, you know, hopefully, again, when people read my book, they'll understand how I ended up in this state. It's not a choice. I'm not choosing to be negative. Sometimes they bring down souls to a certain level for a certain reason. And I've been fighting against that, ever since. Like I knew that two sides were fighting for me my whole life. So it's complicated. But again, that's why I felt the need to write it. So that, I mean, people are always going to make assumptions about you anyway. Like I just did about Claudio. Unfortunately, like I said, it's what you are observing and presenting to the world, right? It's important, like, I mean, I would let people look at my people that I follow. The only thing I'd have to explain is all the fucking tarot readers. But the thing is that I can't unsubscribe to them all. There's so many over the years, okay? So that's the only thing people are like, what's with all of this? And I'd have to explain that. But you could definitely look at it. And there's no fucking hunky guys. I cannot believe that people think I'm a fucking Chad chaser. At first, I was like, what the fuck? Who is Chad? I don't even know a Chad. I remember when I first started making videos and people were accusing me of that. And I'm like, who the fuck is Chad? Like, I don't even know anybody called Chad. Just like when years ago I was on Facebook and these fellas kept calling me Linda when clearly my name is Lacey. I'm like, what the fuck? And at first I was like, okay, maybe they don't speak English as a first language, right? I thought maybe Linda is what they think my name is or something, okay? So I didn't say anything to them. There was a couple of them. And they would just say Linda. It's like coming to somebody's door and being like, Lacey, and then fucking leaving. It was so weird. Linda. I'm like, what the fuck? Right? They kept calling me Linda. So one day I was in a bad mood and I was like, look, fella, I said to one of them, I was like, I don't know if it's that English is not your first language or that maybe you can't read, but my name is Lacey, Lacey. It's not Linda. And he seriously put ha 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 in caps and then goes, Linda means beautiful. He was calling me beautiful. I think it's in Portuguese. Hang on. Linda means beautiful in which language? Is it Spanish or Portuguese or something? Linda means beautiful in Spanish. Bonita, Linda. Yeah, I think so. Wait. Yes, Linda means pretty or cute in Spanish, but it's not as strong as her. Oh, fucking hell. So I only got like the low grade Linda. I didn't get Hermosa. Yeah. Okay. Well, now that story isn't as funny. Oh well. Anyway, they were fucking calling me Linda, and my name is Lacey. That's okay. I don't look like a blow up doll. It's all right. Men, if you want to sexually lust after women that actually look like sex dolls, what can I do? You know what I mean? Oh, you know someone who'd be a really good match. Who? Who, Marge? Who? Fuck, I left the cat outside. Marvin! Fuck, I have to go get Marvin. Oh, damn. Marvin, get your ass inside. Oh, there you are, you little shit. You little shit. Yeah, you knew I was coming. Anyway, there she is. She's inside. She took off, but she came back. Fuck. Well, you know, like I'd probably date Drummonds, but he lives in South America. You know what I mean? That's just the thing. Anybody who I meet, you know, they live far away anyway. So, yeah, it's just a lost cause, really. I mean, I kind of expected that no one would be able to match me. So, see what I mean? He lives in London. Well, I know it's really far. And like, that's the thing. So, I don't really understand life in that way. Like, even if I was to meet somebody who might be interested in, they live way the fuck far away. You see what I'm saying? So I don't know. I just kind of gave up. Like I've been single and celibate for what, 7 years, almost 8 years now. It's been a really long time. Like I haven't even kissed a fella, and I don't care. You know, I don't want it to be how it was before. And if that's all there is, then I don't want it. I don't want to just be in a relationship just cause. Fuck, it's worse than being alone. Did I leave the goddamn door open again? Hold on. Yeah, I did. You better not run away, Fluffy. I'm gonna come up there. You can Fluffy run. Okay? Leave her up, Sable. Leave her up. But yeah, because it would have been awesome to like go on a date and go dancing this weekend, but you know, it has to be something greater than it was before. And that's why I was saying, like, I always thought there would be this match for me. And when I first saw Claudio and I felt that spiritual power that he's got, because he does. But a lot of that, again, is sexual energy. So he may be expressing it with those types of women. Not jealous, just disappointed. And not just disappointed it's not me, but just in the fact of, you know, like, really? Oh. What if he would be willing to travel? Marge, I know you mean well, honey. But I honestly, I've gone out on dates with so many fellas, and I've known right away it wasn't going to work, and so did they. These men are like, I wouldn't even know what to talk to you about. You know what I mean? You make me feel stupid. They've said this. And I'm not trying to be rude. It's just, I've given so many dudes a chance to, like, oh, be nice to him. Who cares if he lives in his car and he's working, he's trying to make life work. Hey, like, I've done it all. And if it's not going to work mentally, emotionally, spiritually, like, if this person doesn't have their own spiritual life, and you know, we're not going to work. We're just not going to work. You know, there's people that don't even want to be friends with people who are online. I thought I made a friend and, ghosted me. Again, another one. So I don't know. It's how it is. And I know you're trying to help. I know. But you know what? I don't think I even want to waste this fella's time, flying all the way over from the UK. You know, because if it's not about being too picky. I wish people could understand that. And this is why a lot of people are unhappy because they just get with whatever works or whatever's convenient. This was good enough, or you get knocked up by some guy and then you end up just having to roll over and tell your fellow, oh, just get it over with so I can go back to sleep. And I just don't want relationships like that. I've had them in the past. I don't want it. I got to get Marv inside. Okay, you guys. Oh, hi. You say hi to my kitty cats? Oh, did he? Yeah, he's a friendly fella. Hey, buddy. Hey, buddy. Oh, yeah? Did you have fun fishing? Sorry about that. There was people outside visiting with my cats, so okay, fair enough. For spiritual growth and development, I think you two would really connect. Oh, he is a brahmachara. Okay, spirit. Well, my celibacy is more so about like, because I've had sex, but I don't want that. That's why I don't want men looking at me as a sex symbol or a sex object. It bothers me that even like in my workout video, guys are like, "Oh, I'm gooning to this." Like, ew, you're fucking disgusting. It's about more deeper intimacy than that. So, I don't know. Maybe I'm just not meant to be with anybody. I don't know. I don't know. Ugh. So, I don't know. If it's meant to be, like, I would think that something would find me, you know? But then again, like, I don't even know if I would know a good man even if I saw one, because I've never had a good example of that, like, even from when I was growing up. And I'm aware of these things, so it's probably reflected on my choices in men. So it just sucks because I really liked Claudio and I hadn't had a crush on anybody in so fucking long. And I was really hoping, like, oh, I hate when the universe fucking does that shit. Well, yeah, of course. Of course. You have a connection with an individual, right? And that's what it's about. You see more of them. At least I was hoping. But both people, it's not just one-sided, and I find that in a lot of the times it is. The other person might think that it's both-sided, but it's not. Mm. So, I don't know. It certainly sucks. It makes me not ever want to have a crush on anybody ever again, that's for sure. Yeah. I waited for him for a long time to like say anything or whatever. But clearly yeah. But that's alright. I'm kind of used to it now anyway. It would be nice to make memories with an individual and share life and, create with someone and see what levels of spirituality we could reach together, you know. Alone I've done so much, but with someone I don't know, like power in numbers I was saying before. But, I can't hide my disappointment, that's for sure. I can feel it. Um, but, that's just the way it goes. So I'm just going to work on my physical self and, you know, have a way to direct energy this way. I found it to be helpful. I crave my walk every day and my workout. And, you know, again, there was another, like I said, I met someone. They're like, yeah, you should come to the gym with me. And, da, 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 and then, just disappears. So, yeah. Well, see, the thing about that is if, like, with the twin flame thing, despite what you know about it, if you've got one flame that is, like, complete, in love with yourself, burning bright, and then another one, right? You would think that you would come together with somebody to create an even stronger light, right? But it just, I mean, I'm 40 years old and I've known about this idea and this feeling like I knew there was like this male version of me somewhere out there ever since I was watching like Astro Boy on TV. And I think it was in black and white. That was like the first anime ever on TV. I was only a few years old, but I remember it. And, you know, I knew that I was different and here to save the world. And I always thought that there would be somebody here with me, that I wouldn't be doing this alone, you know? Like there would be a mate for me. So it's like you can never win, really. Like, so right. Anyway, no, no, Marge, I do not want to think like that, but it's a nice sentiment, you know? Um, yeah. Mm, just going to move on from all of that. Yep. So, yeah. Um, this was tonight's live stream. Um, I don't really like doing it, to be honest with you, but it was nice to come on and see you again. Mm, uh, I'll tell you something positive. Last night when I was on my walk, I had a laugh because there was a girl and a guy. They're well, they looked like they're from India, but I don't know if for sure. But what's funny is that when they were coming up behind me, she's got no bell on her little bike, and she's a grown woman. But it was really funny because she goes beep. You know what I mean? Their cute little voice, and I knew that they were behind me. And so when they drove past, I was chuckling and I was laughing, and I beep beep back at her, and she flashed me a smile as they were driving away. And the boyfriend, like the boyfriend was behind, so like he and I were kind of laughing together as like pointing at her, and I'm like beep beep. It's so funny because they always honk at each other in India too, so it was really cute. Yeah, she let me know they were coming. Beep, she says. Yeah. Hmm. So I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah. She didn't have a little bell or whatever, so she just beeped. Yeah, it was super cute. They were nice. They like waved as they were going too. Yeah, it was sweet. So yeah, I enjoy it. The people are friendly in the area, and yeah. So I'm gonna go for a walk now, but I'm headed to the weed store. I really didn't want to, but I'm irritated. It's a full moon too, so and one of the reasons why I rescheduled the live is because I got my period, so I had to wait till it was over. It's over now, but yeah. So yes, it can, but I would love to be able to leave it behind. Like, people think that I'm having a good time, like I said, over here smoking weed. Yeah, hey, Scott, how's it going? Yeah, I'm still going. I usually go about 3 hours. Uh, I'll stick around, for that long. But it can, but I don't want it to be part of my life, you see? And I know that I have to change my lifestyle on my own. It would just be nice if I had love and friendship and support, to take some of that stress off of me, you know? Mm. Well, you did miss a lot. I mean, I talked about quite a bit. I ranted on, not too angrily or anything, but a lot of stuff came out that I didn't exactly expect, but that's all right. Full moons are like that, I guess. Transvestigate. And um, I really appreciate you all being here with me. Hopefully I will have some better stuff to talk about, um, and more progress. It should take me about 6 to 8 weeks to change my body. So we'll see. It's taken a while, and it took me a while to lose a lot of muscle mass and stuff like that. So it will take some time to build it back. But I've been eating well, um, and I've really got a good schedule going. So We'll see. Oh, yeah. Yeah. There are, yeah. But we don't want to go there again, Scott. But yes, and she's petitioning to have that. Like, bestiality should be, yeah. There's a woman out there who's a lawyer and a professional. Anyway, she got canned from her job and everything because, like, holy shit. But she's trying to petition to have her relationship, her sexual relationship with her dog, be legal. Okay, that's the world we're living in. So, yeah. Well, thank you very much. I do try and reach out when I can, but of course, I'm also going through my own development at this time, and it's important that sometimes you do that alone. But you know, yeah. So thanks for being here, everybody. I'm sorry that you missed so much of it, Scott, but thanks, Drumans. Thank you. Fabio, thank you. Muchas gracias, Fabio. I'm glad. you know? Well, even if I did meet Claudio and I wouldn't like me, all I do is talk shit about him all the time. But I'm not fucking meaning to. Like, it's not that negative. It's just, what am I supposed to do? Like, fuck. As if you met the men in black and they're literally like, you shouldn't do that. And all you're like, it's like, all right then. Righto. And then what? Like, that's it? Are you serious? No. Boy. Big blue alien custodian. Boy, you couldn't fight him? Mm-mm. You should have called me. I would have fought him for you. But whatever. Just get the thing stuck up your nose. Whatever. Okay, everybody. I have to go because I'm turning into a bitch. So, thank you very much for being here with me tonight. I hope you're well. I know life sucks, but hopefully it'll be better eventually. So, much love to you as well. I'll see you next time. I encourage you to, look at those links. Watch that Old World Tartaria before it's right off the internet. The censorship's going to get much, much worse, so I would encourage you to learn and watch as much as you can. Don't be sitting around learning about alien races that you'll meet. Go into the stuff that they don't want you to look at. This is why they're distracting you with peoples from here, there, or everywhere that you may never fucking meet. Because they don't want you to look at the stuff that I've compiled in my playlist. They don't want you to read The Secret Teachings of All Ages by Manly P. Hall. No. Of course not, because that's what they've done and how they've achieved where they're at. No. They want you to study about the fucking Palladians and Aldebaran. Or what was it called? The Illo Gym or Olive. What the fuck ever. Okay? That's what they want because it's a distraction. Okay, everybody. I will keep you updated. I am so happy to see you. I know that I should put more of an effort in. It's like, you know how they say if you don't have anything good to say, it's better to say nothing at all. Well, so I will talk to you all soon. I'll post little vlog updates in my post section, and I do. I will try to make more of an effort. Okay. Yeah. At least I've explained it all through this, and I know I seem a bit of a hypocrite being on YouTube, and talking like that, like I did, but there was nowhere else to fucking go. I would have had crickets and 0 viewers and nobody to listen to, no one to talk to. You see what I'm saying? Like, converse with on other platforms. Tried it. There's nobody there. I've been on Rumble for years, and I'm grateful for 32 subscribers, but that's it. You see what I'm saying? So it's really frustrating for me too, because I didn't want to, but I didn't know which other platform to use. Didn't know where to go, where I'd even have people to talk and relate to. So, okay. Well, I mean, I'm content and I'm well. I'm not, like I said, I'm not bad. I'm not necessarily super good, but I'm not bad. I'm just kind of in the middle, Yeah. And what's this? Well, yeah, I understand what you're saying. Fabio. Thank you. I appreciate you. And that's the thing, like when I make videos, sometimes that's really when I need to talk about it. And so a lot of people will judge my energy in that way and like think that I'm like that all the time. But no, it's usually that it's come to accumulation point and I just can't hold it in anymore, It's kind of like gas when you need to fart. Anyway, on that note, take care, everybody. I'll schedule a live stream when I can, Okay. Bye. Oh. Good night in the chat. Then, bye. See you later, everybody. Martin and Salem say good night, and I will talk to you again shortly. Or like in the near future. I'm not going anywhere. So anyway, bye. Take care.